And we are back, and we just finished watching 2002's 28 Days Later. This is rated R with a runtime of 1 hour and 53 minutes. This comes to us from director Danny Boyle with a screenplay by Alex Garland. This stars Cillian Murphy as Jim, and according to the IMDb blurb, it says 4 weeks after a mysterious incurable virus spreads throughout the United Kingdom, a handful of survivors try to find sanctuary. We've seen this film before, but it is still just anxiety-inducing, correct?
Yeah, this film holds up really well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not that it's super old, but it's 23 years old or something like that, right?
Yeah, it's a college graduate.
Yeah. But, oh my God, yeah, this film really, really still holds up well, and it still has that, like, you're in this like constant state of anxiety while you're watching it because the infected they're scary. It's not. I remember the big thing was, it's a zombie movie. It's not a zombie movie. It's about people who are infected with a virus that induces just unfathomable, unstoppable, mindless rage upon them, and they're so insane that they don't even eat, they don't even drink. They all they want to do is run around and
destroy,
beat people to death,
or just kill people.
Yeah, they're not really doing property damage unless it involves getting through something to beat somebody to death.
Right. And they're not then like eating them for nourishment. They're just
the thing that was also smart in the writing of this was that it was fast. If you got bit or you got drooled on or even of a drop of
blood or
fluid
saliva
fell into your eye, it's 20 seconds later you are a mindless rage beast.
Yeah.
So it made sense how it managed to just like completely consume the entire UK in the amount of time that it did. One of the things that always kind of aggravates me about zombie movies, especially slow-moving zombies, is they're slow-moving, and when somebody gets infected, it takes a long time for them to die, and then they got to resurrect. And in my mind, you could never have the sort of apocalypse that are often shown in these things.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas this, it's just instantaneous. Like you could be running from somebody, and then suddenly the person you're with is there. Now they're infected, and you're running from somebody else. And it's just so damn quick. So that's what made it additionally terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
And also, as we see later on in the film, kind of heartbreaking with Brendan Gleeson's character.
Right.
Because it's like anything, like I said, a single drop could just turn you into a lunatic within seconds, and you see that happen in the film.
Still holds up.
It really, really does. It doesn't feel dated. The effects look good still.
Mm-hmm.
The infected are disgusting. They're just like vomiting blood and fluid, and they're just running around like crazy.
And scary. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely
I mean, you set them on
fuel.
fire, and they're still running at you.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, it's not like they're immortal or zombies. Or if you shoot them, they're done.
Right.
They still have, these people are still
human.
They're still human. They still have biological functions going through their bodies that are necessary to survival, including eating, which apparently they just have no interest in. So
because rage has consumed them to the point where it's the only thing they think of.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny. We've seen this before. I think I've seen it throughout the years here and there, but I think this is the first time I've watched it from start to finish since that first initial watching. And just really impressive, really interesting storytelling, real interesting story. And it really does transcend. I mean, this is now over 20 years, and sometimes things are dated, and some of it looked a little... It was interesting. I think I turned to you at one point, and I'm like, why does the film look like that? It looked really hazy and fuzzy.
I mean,
and
it just looked a bit...
focus until further along, but it was interesting because it didn't take me completely out of it, but it sort of lends this kind of gauzy feel to this world because it's almost surreal because it's like, is this really happening? and it's funny because sometimes when you watch films, you sort of put yourself, well, I don't know about other people, but I know for myself, I sometimes put myself in that character's shoes, and I'm like, if I was living in this world, I would be like, is this for real? Like, is this really happening? Like, I would be in such, I would have been overtaken by one of these things and turned, but it's just so interesting because it's like, could this really happen? Like, it just blew my mind. Like, I think the first time I saw it, because it was so different, right? Because it's not like a zombie plague or it's not some other thing. It's this thing that's unexplainable. You don't know where it came from. It obviously originated in a lab, but it's, I don't know. It's just so.
Yeah, how do you make a virus?
Rage virus. Yeah.
It's like.
And
Rage is like
rage
is like an emotion. It's
but it works. It works, and
yeah.
it's terrifying to watch. I mean, even now, you saw me. I had to get up at one point and just walk away because it was like, oh, this is too much. This is too much. That scene it's so funny because as they go in, the Jim character's like, this is like the stupidest idea.
Yeah, and
he just keeps, and it's funny because then the Brendan Gleeson character is just like, yeah, no, we're gonna make it. Yeah. And something happens, and of course there's high stakes because you grow to like these characters. You want them to succeed.
That was another thing that was good about the story, was that you genuinely got to know and like the characters.
Yes.
Like, you cared about Jim and Selena and Brendan Gleeson's character and his daughter. I forgot what Brendan Gleeson's character's name was.
Frank, and her name was Hannah.
And you care about Frank and Hannah. And that's honestly the mark of just good writing. And each of the characters had, their own bit of a story arc. You saw where they were at emotionally. I mean, Selena is just like, I'll kill you in the heartbeat if I send. She's just like all cold and hard. And Jim, you could see that he really loved his parents, and he missed
that was
them.
Sad.
And and there's a part where he like is having a nightmare, and Frank wakes him up, and he's just like, "Thanks, Dad." Yeah. It's like he gets like this almost this new family, and then more tragedy ensues. Right. And then you have the military base, which kind of alters the story a bit. You end up with in a situation like this, the people become the monsters, even though you're already dealing with people who are monsters, but they're like the infected. They don't have they have an excuse. They're infected with a rage virus. The people, it's just
what's your excuse?
What's your excuse?
You've devolved into this lawless, and you're supposed to be the law.
Yeah. You're all wearing uniforms and whatnot, and somehow what are you, like, pirates now? What the hell's going on?
Yeah, I still love this film. It's funny because obviously, I mean, I'm sure it had a decent budget, but it's not like a big blockbustery budget sort of film, but the story is just so compelling, right? And you're so invested. I remember the first time I saw this, like, I didn't know what to expect. I think we had gone into it blindly, and just that whole sequence at the beginning, with the lab, and then you go into the hospital, and then you get into like Jim's point of view and what's happening with him, and everything is just desolate and bare. And it's like, this is London, right? I mean, it's a major city. I mean, there's constant movement, right? So to see this like almost post-apocalyptic world is very surreal and very disturbing.
Yeah,
so
and that, I think that helps because you are Jim.
Yes.
In this moment,
right?
You are really along for the ride because you don't really know what the hell's going on or why this happened so fast.
Right. And you see the placards or the pieces of paper on the walls with like the family members and people that are missing, and it's like, what has happened? There's no clear explanation what has happened. Mm-hmm. So you're just going blindly, and then when he gets to the church, that's when you sort of get introduced to the others that inhabit the space, and you still don't know what's happening, and then it goes from bad to worse. It just becomes this terrifying thing.
Yeah.
And so I guess this is where the story really begins, or like the action really begins. You're on this hero's journey with Jim, and he definitely comes out at the end a different person, but, or maybe not so much, because I feel like there was that sequence, I think, when they first get into Frank and Hannah's house or apartment, whatever, and he's talking to Selena, and he basically says, I know that if it wasn't for you, I'd probably be dead, so thank you.
Yeah.
And like, I feel like he still retains a lot of his humanity, maybe because he wasn't exposed in those 28 days to what really happened, whereas you could tell that Selena was extremely traumatized, and she built these walls to protect herself.
Yeah, I mean, they even say it. They're like, you were blessed that you didn't have to live through that. And he kind of argues the point about it a bit, but then he gets the full story of what was his name, Mark?
Right.
And so it's
I felt so bad for Mark.
You were blessed. You didn't have to see your parents turn into maniacs,
right?
Or your family and your little sister.
Yeah, I felt bad for Mark. And then Selena showed him no mercy.
Yeah, because she knew what would happen. She knew it's not like in a lot of these type of movies where the person gets infected and then they slowly die, and it's like you're saying goodbye and it's all sad, and then at the end
there's no time for any of that here.
Then eventually you have to blow their head off or something. In this, she acted immediately to the point where he was like raising his arms up in self-defense, like begging for his life, and she had to kill him.
Yeah.
Because he was going to turn.
And then I guess we could spoil it. Like I said, it's over 20 years. And then when this happens to Frank, she's yelling at Jim to do what he needs to do, but you could tell that he was not going to be able to.
No, because that Frank was like a new
father to him. Yeah.
So it's messed up.
Yeah, it was sad. I mean, still powerful. Not a lot of special effects, not a huge budget, but just, again, we talk about how if you don't have a good story, you don't have a good movie. And this is a prime example of that. From where this starts to where it ends, you are invested in the story. It is compelling. You are absolutely traumatized by what is happening in this crazy world. And it doesn't stop. It's relentless. I mean, you get breaks here and there of levity and like when they go food shopping and stuff. Yeah. But for the most part, you are constantly just inundated with this complete sense of dread throughout the piece.
Yeah. Or anxiety.
Yeah. High anxiety.
Yeah.
I think I asked you while we were watching the film, but who's worse, the infected or the military? What would you say?
I mean, the military.
Yeah.
Because, like I mentioned, the infected, they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're just basically, their minds are erased. They're just an emotion at that point.
Yeah.
Whereas the military, it's like, oh, if I'm going to keep control of these guys, I had to promise them women. Which was just creepy.
Yeah.
You know, especially when you consider how young, young Hannah is. It's just, and
he's not in it very much as Major West, but Christopher Eccleston is pretty loathsome.
Yeah, because he gives us this veneer of control and oh, it's going to be stable, everything's going to be okay, right. And then it turns out. No, it's not going to be okay. We are in absolute base survival mode, and it's if you're not part of us, you're against us.
Right. Yeah. I felt also badly for Sergeant Farrell, who was probably like
the only voice of reason within
the whole thing. Yeah. It was very like Barnes and Elias in Platoon, right? Just
kind of, yeah.
And everyone sided with Major West, though.
Well, he was. I mean, when you're dealing, the rest of those guys were just knuckleheads. They were dumb. They were all dumb jackasses, and they're gonna follow the guy who's just like yeah, we're gonna be men, or we're gonna get you some women.
Yeah. Well, he promised them women, so I guess
Yeah.
that trumped morality and ethics. Scale of 1 to 10, what would you give it?
I would give this like an 8.
I too would give it an 8. It is solid. It still works. Just really excellent story building and world building and killer script. And it's not very wordy. They don't go into soliloquies about being or anything like that. It's all anxiety. It's just all anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
And it works gangbusters. I mean, this is absolute horror to live in this world. Before we wrap it up, we want to ask everyone to please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't, and we will return with another review soon. But in the meantime, during spooky season, we highly, highly, highly recommend 28 Days Later from screenwriter Alex Garland and director Danny Boyle. This is currently playing on Netflix, AMC Plus, Pluto TV, and also to buy rent on Prime Video. Check it out. And we will come back soon with another review. And with that, we will bid you all a
good night.